Okay, hello everyone, and welcome. Thanks for showing up. Guys, today we're going to look at comparing data displays. Yesterday we looked at different kinds of data displays. Today we're going to compare two different kinds of data displays, or sometimes it's even the same data displays, just two different sets of data, right? And try and use that to answer some questions. All right, again, our objective, analyze and compare the shapes of different data displays. Our essential question, y'all, how can we use data displays to compare different sets of data? All right, that's what you need for the assessment. Now, the shape of the data display can tell us a lot about that set of data. And then we can compare the shapes of two data displays to help us compare the two different sets of data. Because we're looking at two different sets of data, just a bunch of numbers. We want to compare those two sets. As an example, which car should I buy? That's going to be a question you all are going to ask yourself, I'm sure, relatively soon. If the thing that matters most to you is highway fuel efficiency, then you're certainly going to want the Type 2 car. All right? Obviously, it gets higher fuel efficiency. This is a dot plot comparing two different sets of data for two different types of cars. All right? Type 2 has a higher fuel efficiency. All right, how about this one? Which school raised more money? Again, these are both box and whisker plots. Both sets of data have the same minimum and the same maximum. But it looks like Philip's school raised more money than Caitlin's. All right, their median is higher. All right, the number in the middle of their data is higher in Philip's school than in Caitlin's. All right, and look at the box. It's higher. The box is higher than this one. All right. All right, these are two histograms. Which show is watched by viewers in their 20s? Now, this is one of these that's a little bit ambiguous. All right, there's not actually one right answer here. Because if you look at the show number 1 here, it has 8 people, it says here, in their 20s that watch the show. Right down here, between 20 and 29, this one has 3 people, this one has 5, so this is also 8 people. All right, if your target market is the entire age group of the 20s, then you want show number 2. But if your target market is kind of the older 20s, because a lot of times by the time you get to be 27, 28, 29, that's when you start making more money than you did when you were 21 and 22 and 23. So if that was your target market, you would actually pick show number 1 here, okay? All right, if you just ask yourself, when do students send more text messages? Now, this is probably pretty obvious, but the data shows it. During school or in non-school days, okay? The school days, they send a lot less text messages. That's what this data shows. Even though some students on non-school days and in school days, they send 0. The minimums are the same. But certainly during non-school days, students send a lot more text messages based on this data here, okay? Guys, if the data is symmetric around the middle, right, the mean, median, and mode, they're the same or very close to the same, okay? It's known as a normal distribution, and we're going to look much closer at that here next week. I did want to show you an example of two sets of data that have the same mean, the same average. See these two sets of data? They have the same mean. The mean is 8. The average is 8. All right, but they have very different medians. All right, this first set of data has a big outlier here, 32. You see this black box and whisker plot? Has this big outlier up here at 32. Look at that long whisker there, okay? These are two different, very different sets of data, but if all you did was took the average of the two sets, he would think they're very similar. Okay, y'all, that's it. What you need to do now is please complete the homework assessment. It's in the purple folder. All right, the warm-up tomorrow, we're going to match the types of displays with its picture and its description. All right, in case you want to do a warm-up tomorrow. All right, that's it. Thanks for listening.